What's going on? So tonight we're going to talk about how to double your money in 6 months or less using a jealously guarded secret technique reserved for the wealthy. So how can you double your money in 6 months or less without risking your retirement? Well, the strategy that is used by the wealthy is what's called the syndication. So who am I and why should you listen to me? So my name is Marouane Bah. First, I'm a husband, a father, a U.S. Marine, and a real estate educator. I've been doing real estate since I was 19 years old. I purchased my first house in the District of Columbia back in 2009. I'm sorry, 2019. My education background is the SAS at Harvard, Georgetown, the MBA, the School of Foreign Service, and I also have a professional certificate from MIT. I've been teaching real estate for 20 years, and I think the only bad thing I have about me out there is I was arrested by the police department of Somerville for getting to show up at a court for a ticket. And you can Google me and see all of my positive and negative thing and my reviews out there. All of these are for educational purpose only. So there's no claim or promises. There's past results are not guaranteed indicative of future results. And it's all for illustration purposes. And you could do better or you can do worse, depending on the effort that you put into the projects. Some of the examples that we have out there that we've done in the past, syndication-wise, is a 3-family in Roxbury. 3-family means that it has 3 apartments into the building. We bought the building for $771,000. We rehabbed it, raising $150,000 of capital from our sphere and friends and close networks. And after we rehabbed the building, we turned it into 3 apartments through our condo conversions. The condo conversions allow us to sell each unit for $550,000 minus the construction cost. So the after rehab value was about $1.5 million. The profit for the syndication was $300,000. So for every $1 we received, we gave $2 back. And we did that project in a little less than 9 months. Another project we did in Dedham was a purchase of a single family in 5 acres. We subdivided the land and we separated the property from the land. We rehabbed it. The syndication money that we raised was $60,000. And after the rehab value, we had $1.1 million. So here for every $1 that was invested, we gave $3 back on a $60,000 investment. So if I could show you how you can jump on a syndication project where you could get potentially 2-to-1 return on investment within a 6-month period, what I'm curious to know is, could I have your attention? So who is this for? This is for the person that is having a difficulty raising 20 to 25% on a down payment for a project for themselves. Syndication is great for those people because it doesn't require so much money from one individual to do the project. If you have credit issues, bad credit, can get financing, syndications would work great. You can amass enough to do a down payment and go through the hard money lender that are not going to require a review of your credit report, but it's going to look at the asset and the down payment on the asset. Syndications are also for people that are extremely busy and have 100 things out there that they're working on, and they don't have the time or the money or the resources to put into a project, but they're still interested in the upside of a investment in a pool of people. Syndication is great for those people because you take advantage of a general partner to do the project who has the experience and can guarantee you a return because your investment is tied to the project and the property. If you like education, syndication is a great way to go because you can now follow the general partner and see how he's doing his things and imitate those things. Many times innovations are costly, so you want to minimize how much you innovate, particularly when you're new to the field. If you're an experienced investor and need some wins under your belt, because some hard money lenders base their rates, terms, conditions on how much experience and how many deals you've done. Syndication could be the way for you to get into the real estate field and build some track record on your portfolio. If you invested in REITs and they're not giving you a high return, syndication could be an avenue for you. If you are an accredited investor, but you want to take advantage of the returns that are typically not offered to the accredited investors level, another avenue is syndications out there that could pay a high yield. So syndication can be for you. Now, syndication can be broken down into two sections. You have the accredited investors and you have the CF. CF is non-accredited, lower threshold of entries. And that's the reason why this could be done. We currently have two syndications out there. We have one for the accredited, Mansour X. We have one that is for the non-accredited, Mansour X2. Both of them are approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. And you can see our SIC number in the bottom, but you can literally go on the Securities and Exchange Commission and tap that SIC and be able to see our profile. Here's the project we have going on that we're going to be doing in the next 6 months. We have a project in Somerville, Massachusetts, where the purchase price is $1.2 million. The capital that we're looking to raise is $250,000. That means we're going to take the $250,000 and leverage that amount to get $1.2 million from the institutional investor, hard money lenders, the traditional way. The after rehab value, after the work is done, is 2.1, because again, we're looking at converting a multi-unit into a condo conversion, where we are going to be selling individual units separately. After the sale and refinance, we intend to sell 2 units and keep 1 for tax purposes, mitigating our tax liability because we haven't pulled the profit out of it. Syndication profit is approximately between $500,000 to $750,000. So the return on investment is 3 to 1. Now we are going to put our own capital into this project. So the return for the investors is 2 to 1 in a 6-month period. That means that for the accredited investors that invest anything above $5,000 will get double their money. We also have the non-accredited investors that are going to invest, and those people will get a 2 to 1 return for their investment. Now, your investment is going to be secured 100% by the property. 100% of the proceeds will go toward the acquisition. There's no admin fee. There's no acquisition, no disposition, no administrative fees. Now, market is an unstable thing, particularly with the interest rate rising. So what's the worst case scenario? Plan B is we can redeem all of the shares that are being bought by the investor through the rental of the 3 units. That's number 1. Number 2, we can redeem the investments of the investors through the refinance of the project. Because even though we are going through a turmoil where inflation is hitting us, interest rate is hitting us on the other side, we can still refinance the projects, particularly when we are now looking at a project from a multifamily into a condo conversion where you have 3 separate deeds and 3 separate units on the property. So why are we offering this opportunity to the public, to people out there? Well, the first one is every single SEC marketing company that we're going to have conversation with to market this syndication is asking between $100,000 to $150,000 to market. Me personally, I thought that was outrageous. I personally thought that it might be more valuable for us to take a look at it and do our own YouTube, our own marketing, and then offer the $100,000 that we were going to pay marketing companies directly to people that are going to invest in journeys with us. And because I'm looking for partners, friends, evangelists, fans, social proofs, people that are going to rave about us based on the delivery of our promises, but also how well we take care of our investors, we figured that we are going to grow organically by building that kind of relationship. So we want to give a high return to our investors versus paying a marketing company to market for us. I would rather return the money to the investors and a profit to them because they've accompanied us versus having to pay ads and management fee on the marketing side of things. And I want to think of this as my way of giving back, again, to assure that we have fans that are going to refer their friends and family to projects where we are together becoming wealthier over the long term. So the investment options that are going to be available. So we have for the accredited investors, platinum, gold are between 100 to 150 grand. The silver is 50, preferred is 25, and the accredited one is $5,000. The non-accredited starter is 1,000, and the fast track is 2,500. Now, for the accredited investor, you have to know that you have to meet certain criteria that SEC has put in place, where you have to demonstrate that you have a net worth of $1 million or higher. But because so many people focus on the accredited investor, we wanted to tie this into people that are not accredited investors. Non-accredited investors means that you don't have an obligation to show to the IRS or to the Securities and Exchange Commission or any other entity that you're worth $1 million or more, or that you earn $200,000 if you're single, $300,000 if you're married. You don't have that obligation. However, you're limited to how much you invest. So if you don't have $1 million net worth, or you don't have $200,000 in annual income as an individual, you can start by investing in vehicles like this, where you're doubling your money, or you're getting high returns on your money tied to real estate enough times where, if you're familiar with the rule of 7, that over a period of time, your money and your wealth grows, then you can qualify yourself as an accredited investor and start investing across platform for accredited investors. So what's your next step? You can schedule a meet, and my Calendly is on the Zoom, and through that, we'll have a conversation. We'll go through the prospectus. We'll review everything that we need to answer all the individual questions, and then we'll direct you on how to join Montour X, Montour X2. So here is the Calendly, and then it's also going to be available on the recording that we're going to send to every single person that registered for this webinar. Beautiful. All right. So I only had 20 minutes, 30 minutes to chat with you guys. I want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you guys soon.